Right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes, okay? Today, we're going to talk about the product of ratios. So it's otherwise called the product to sum formula. In the previous video, we talked about sum and differences of ratio, otherwise known as sum to product formula. But this is going to talk about the product of ratios, all right? So first thing first is that I'm going to talk about the 5 rules and the 5 rules that we need to use as well. The 5 rules is similar to the other 5 rules, exactly the same thing. So I'm going to just write it down here. So the 5 rules. So the first thing as well, I told you that you have to write the correct formula. So you have to write the formula down. So you have to look at the appropriate formula for the particular question and you write it down. Then when you've written the formula, the next thing that you have to do then is that you then have to substitute the given angles. So when you're done, you substitute the given angles. Okay, so when you've written the formula, you substitute the given angles. Then the next is that you have to find the values of the trig expressions, all right? So you have to then find the values of the trig expression. Then, when you found the value of this trig expression, then you now have to substitute these values into the equation. Then you then substitute into the equation. Then after substituting, the last step you then do is that you simplify. So you can see that this is exactly the same 5 rules like the previous videos as well. So you write down the formula, you look at the most appropriate formula for the question. Then after you're done with that, you substitute the given angles. After substituting, you find the values of the trig expression, then you substitute these values into the equation, then you simplify. All right. So let's start. Let's pick an example, for instance. So let's say I want to find the values of a particular product ratio. So let's say find the value of, let's say we have maybe sine 75 and sine 15. So let's just pick any number, sine 75 degrees and sine 15 degrees without actually using the calculator or evaluating. Does that make sense? So without actually evaluating the values of sine 75 and sine 15. Okay. So in this case here, you're trying to evaluate the values of this particular product, but you were not expected to evaluate the values individually, all right? So what do? If you remember from the 4th video, I told you that 2, okay, sine A, sine B, okay, because this is similar to this, okay? And I told you that 2 sine A, sine B was equal to cos A minus B, and minus cos A plus B, okay? So, but we're not looking for 2 sine A sine B, we're looking for sine A sine B, all right? So then I can then divide both sides by 2, all right? So that means I can now say, dividing both sides by 2, so sine A sine B, or I can just divide it by 2 straight up from here to make it easier. So I'll divide both sides by 2. Okay, so therefore, this will now give me sine A sine B will be equal to 1 over 2 cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. Can you see? All right, so that is it. So that means this is now similar to the question we were given. So that means My A is then 75, and my B is then what? 15 degrees. So then I can now say, therefore, sine 75 sine 15 will be equal to 1/2 cosine. A is 75 minus 15 minus cosine 75 plus what? 15. Are you seeing it? Then we can now go further and give you 1/2. This is going to give you 75 minus 15 should give you 60. And 75 plus 15 should give you 90. So you can see that these are now special angles, all right? Now, as you know, cos 60 is 1/2, and cos 90 is 0. So, and this is going to give you 1/2 into 1/2, and this is going to give you 1/4. So that means the answer for this is going to be what? 1/4. So you see the product of ratios is easy. The key thing to know is to get the appropriate formula for the question. So in this case, you need to make sure you write the appropriate formula for the question. That will help you, okay? You know how to solve the particular given question. Now let's look at, I'll pick one more example, and when I'm done with that, we'll just go to the next video, because the product, the sum and differences, all what we've talked about are just straightforward. What you just need to do, know the right formula to use, and then you apply it. So let's solve another one. Let's say express 2 cos 5x sine 2x as sum or difference. Okay. We have this particular question now, and we're told that we need to express 2 cos 5x sine 2x as sum or difference. But you know, the expression or the formula that will be very close to this is going to be 2 sine A cos B. Okay? So it's going to be 2 sine A cos B, because 2 sine A cos B is equal to sine A plus B plus sine A minus B. Okay, so because of that, we can then rearrange this expression to look like this. So it will be 2, the sine 2x will come first, sine 2x, then cos what? 5x. Then we can apply the formula straight up. So this is going to give us sine. So in this case, our A is 2x, and our B is 5x. It will be sine 2x plus 5x plus sine 2x minus what? 5x. So this is going to give you sine 5x plus 5x plus 2x will give you 7x. Okay. Then plus sine 2x minus 5x will give you what? Minus what? 3x. And that's the answer for that. Okay. Any question? If you have any question, please feel free to drop it in the chat box, and I'll get back to you about it. Is that okay? Or preferably, you can send me an email, and I can add any video that you don't understand, or I can also respond to you directly. So the first thing that you will notice as well is that in a product of ratios, it's similar to the product to sum formula. Some textbook we call it the product to sum formulas. You write down the formula, you substitute the given angles, you find the values of the trig expressions, you substitute these values into the equation, then you what? Simplify. All right. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about the R addition formula. Okay, so which is a very important topic. So we're going to talk about the R addition formula. Okay, and I'm going to talk about some of the new rules on how to solve this. Okay, so I'm going to see you in the next video for this. So like I said, always subscribe. And if you have any question, feel free to send me a message and I'll get back to you. So I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.